Welcome to the Clive Barker Podcast, episode 109. Definitely not a turd. This episode we go through Clive Barker news. We've got a Kickstarter update and what we're working on the website www.clivebarkercast.com. So check it out. All right, well, welcome back. Of course, I'm Ryan, all the way from Fairbanks, Alaska, and we've got Rob in North Carolina and Jose in Arizona.
Hello. Exactly. So
hello,
3 time zones.
Yeah. And when we get a guest, then we have to do 4 time zones a lot of the time. So I guess just a really quick Kickstarter update. All of the packages have been mailed out, and almost all of them have been received. And so that part of our thing is almost done. Just 2. I've got a tracking program, and I've watched all of them. And there's 2 that are like short stops somewhere. So Kessa, it looks like it. Stopped in his hometown somewhere. It's set out for delivery since November 30th. So if you're listening to this, if you could get back to me and just let me know if you got that or not. It just might be that they never marked that it was delivered.
Yes.
And then Aaron Lindsay, that one, the tracking stopped in Anchorage, which I don't know what happened there. So,
maybe a storm or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or they just stopped tracking it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoys the packages. They're really nice. I think, Ryan, you did a really good job on the boxes and all that stuff.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really
I got the T-shirt as well.
Yeah,
the T-shirt is great.
That's getting a lot of great feedback from people.
Yeah.
The T-shirt.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking we might want to put up a link to buy them individually on the store.
On
the website.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Just at a fixed price, what it would cost to get one, or,
Sure, that sounds like an excellent idea. I mean, the T-shirt is pretty. I don't want to be the one to say that because I'm the one who kind of designed most of it, but I really like the T-shirt, and
that's really
I actually did an unboxing video for YouTube, so I'm going to be putting that up.
That'll be
today.
Cool. Yeah, we'll watch out for that.
Did you put on the shirt and model it in the video?
Well, actually, the cat used it immediately as a cat bed. Yeah. I took it out of the padded envelope, did the video, turned around, and then the cat was like laying on top of it, like loafing. Yeah. So I actually incorporated that.
I'm going to wear the shirt. My brother's putting on a toy convention here in a few weeks. I'm going to wear it at the toy convention.
Awesome. Oh, cool.
Spread the faith.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Clive Barker fans here in Asheville, and they'll probably, see the shirt and be like, oh, try to get more listeners,
How far is that from High Point?
3 hours.
Okay, right. So
I looked it up after we talked to Peter Atkinson. It's 3 hours.
Right. Because the Boiler Room was a real club in High Point, I think.
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
He talks about that on the commentary for the new Scarlet Box.
So, but it was probably called something else, I imagine.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either on that. He didn't mention it was called anything else, but could have been.
Yeah. So, speaking of T-shirts, do you guys want to go into the news?
Yeah. So first thing, we didn't talk about these before, or maybe we did. The real Clive Barker website has Midian pendants, so they kind of look similar to the Midian key that you have, but they're pendants, like necklaces.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a teaser that there's some new Nightbreed news coming up soon, and some sites took that to mean something bigger than it actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I think the Bloodshed was one of those. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the new limited edition pendants inspired by Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Like you said, they're based on. I think one of them is based on the markings that you can see in Boone's face when he transforms.
Yeah,
you remember the markings on his forehead?
Oh yeah.
That's just in the director's cut, right? The director's cut, that's not in there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the other one is inspired by the Gates of Midian. So the only thing that's different from the key of Midian that I own is that there's not there isn't like a circle around it. It's just this little cross with the M for Midian on it. So they're cool. They're made of white bronze. They're white bronze castings by sculptor David Richardson, who has worked previously with Clive Barker and also made a previous Nightbreed-based collectible, which was a Decker medallion. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that. I've never seen it,
that Rorschach bloody mask face.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Are those still available to get? I'll have to check into that after we get off the podcast.
I'm not sure. Stuff seems to come and go really quickly on that store.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, for German people out there, there's a new German edition of the Books of Blood in hardcover. Is it Die Bucher de Blutes?
Yeah, it's like Die Bucher de Blutes. So it's called the Book of Blood. So, yeah, it makes sense, of course, yeah. So
volumes 1 through 3.
Yeah. So new German edition. It's always good to know that these things are being put back in print.
Yeah, so new people can find it and enjoy it like we did when we were younger.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Germany like 4 or 5 times, and every time I was there, I would check out the bookstores. Even though I didn't know how to read German, but I still liked looking at bookstores.
Yeah.
And I would invariably find Clive Barker books and audio books. And, of course, they'd all be translated to German. And they'd be pretty much all of them. Like, from the Damnation Game and the Books of Blood to, like, Aberrat. So
Wow.
It's great that they have a market that has all those translations there.
There's an interview with Clive Barker and Mick Garris about the body book. And they talked briefly about their work on the mummy that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people thought it was the producers said they thought their script was obscene.
That's like, to be.
I mean, why do you get in business with somebody that you need to read their work or at least be familiar with it, because it's really ridiculous. I mean.
Yeah, it's like I want to hire you and use your talent to make.
It probably wasn't. It's
make
not obscene.
My idea.
It's just these people don't. The producers stuff, they don't. They're just thinking about the dollar.
Yeah,
sure. I mean,
they're not thinking about.
For them, for most of these producers, making a movie is really a business. They just.
I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
well, and if you look at it from their point of view, obviously they made a lot of money on those mummy movies.
Yeah, they did. I don't know if this.
I don't particularly like them. I saw the first one, and I didn't watch any of the sequels or the spin-offs with The Rock and the Scorpion King and all that.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I'm gonna go and say that I think I saw all of them, and of course, like my preference in the series goes a little down with each one, but it's like the first, the second are really good. The third one with the Emperor Mummy, it's okay. I mean, it's entertaining. And then the other ones with like the Scorpion King, they're just like, if you were into like stuff like Hercules and Xena the Warrior Princess, I mean, it's at that level kind of.
Oh man,
so, really, that's really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like a made-for-TV movie.
Which one?
So the Scorpion King looked like it was made for television.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that vibe. But sure, I mean, it's not the first time that a producer tells Clive Barker that he thinks his work is obscene.
No, he gets.
We we just did that Underworld commentary where a producer said that to him, right? Like, yeah, they called Clive Barker a pornographer, and so there you go.
Yeah.
Also,
or that suit that asked during Nightbreed's development, he said, "Hey, I think you have to be careful, otherwise people are going to like the monsters." And it's like, that's the whole point.
Yeah,
buddy. Did you not read the script?
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was going to say on the body book, it's I don't know. This was when I reported, but I think it's about 60% sold out. So if you want to get that,
yeah.
And they put up a way. They did do a payment plan for that too. They've done something at Dark Regions Press where I think you can do. It's $80, but I think you can do like 2 payments.
Yeah, they announced it on November 26th. They announced that payment plans are here, and it says here, Dark Regions Press customers now have a more affordable way to purchase our deluxe editions. Payment plans. Many new Dark Regions Press titles that have signed hardcover editions will now offer payment plans that allow the customer to pay off the book with installments. It says here, for example, a customer purchasing a 200 deluxe edition could choose a 4 monthly payment plan. This plan requires 25% down immediately and then another $50 every 30 days until $200 is paid in full. Once the $200 is paid in full, the customer is shipped the product. So, yeah, I mean, I have ambivalent feelings about this sort of thing. But
I misunderstood that. I thought you got the book when you first made one payment. But you only get it when you... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So they just hold it for you on consignment or whatever until you're paid off?
I guess so. Because
it's a little weird.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure they don't want to risk sending the book for $50 and then the person would be like, okay, bye. I'm not going to pay the rest.
That's true. Yeah.
So the body book is on pre-order for $80. So, it's on the Dark Regions website. It's got 2 stories. So I know we keep mentioning this, and it's the Body Politic and In the Flesh from the Books of Blood.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then I guess the extra stuff is it has the script and some extra stuff from the Quicksilver Highway, the adaptation of the Body Politic.
Yeah,
from Mick Garris.
It seems like a fantastic book. I mean, there's this trend now that started with, I think, Weave World and then a Midnight Meat Train book, and now this one, which is they revisit like older stories and then they add some more extra stuff to it and they reprint it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. It'd be nice if it was if they weren't limited, but
I know. It would be nice. It would be nice if there was an unsigned, paperback edition, but that's the decision, that's the publisher's decision, and that's the deal they make with Clive Barker. So I'm sure they've done their homework and figured out, well, we're okay with this.
And we talked a little bit before about this fun-sized horror short film competition, and the movies had to be turned in by December 1st, which was, as we're recording this, 2 days ago. So we don't need to talk about this a whole ton, but anybody that put their short movies in there, they'll be seen by Clive Barker, who's one of the judges.
Actually, put my movie in there.
Oh, you did?
This thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'll put that in there just for fun.
So you probably know more about the contest than when do they judge them?
I don't know. I really have not. I have to go back and look at it, but
okay.
They, it has, people, have watched a lot. So
well, that's cool.
But I just did it for fun.
And Clive or Mark Miller and Christian Francis made a movie for that, right? That
little
The Great
cartoon.
Corbin.
Yeah, it was funny. I liked it.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So Shock Till You Drop interviewed Filip Onell, and we've been kind of talking to him in private messages about all of his discoveries. Working on his fan edit of Nightbreed.
Oh yeah, that's right. What's the name of his website? The Swedish Cinemasochist, I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that's what
it's got that Creepshow picture on the front.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's cool. I mean, I know that there was a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a controversy, but there was a little bit of a polemic with Andrew Furtado because Andrew Furtado didn't like some of the comments that Filip Onell did about the director's cut. And Andrew came out in defense of that. But then, like Filip said, Andrew Furtado also started out announcing the director's cut by bashing a little bit the Cabal cut. So it's all, I guess, done.
I think everything's water under the bridge now. I mean,
sure.
I saw a comment where he had said he supported and wished the best of luck. So
yeah. I think he kind of got control of his emotions about it a little bit. It was,
well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, the director's cut is going to be there. It's not going anywhere, and nobody's questioning. Yeah, nobody's questioning that Clive Barker approved, sanctioned, and watched that, and cried over the director's cut. So, I mean, it's just I think personally, it's funny to see other people's take on this movie, especially if they have the skill to do it. So why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope he finishes it, because this is the kind of thing that you could get into it and realize what a huge project it is, and maybe other things come up and you'd say
I'll get lost in the details. I think he's been working on this for quite some time, so if he was going to drop out of it, I think he would have dropped out some time ago. So I think he's really pushing through. He's taking his own time, so there's no release date for this.
Well, it seems like he also watches like 3 movies a day.
True. Yeah, he's a cinemasochist.
Yeah, that's what he does.
He posts on Facebook and Twitter all the time. I am watching, and it'll be some like 80s movie. Yeah.
I mean, I wish that I had the resolve to be able to see those many movies,
or the time,
Yeah, I mean, I confess that sometimes I find myself not having the resolve to watch some movies through. It's like I'll just get distracted and just go over to the kitchen or come over here and check out the internet. And then I realize, well, I missed a part of the movie. I'm not going to rewind it. It's okay. I'll watch it later.
I usually watch movies now, right before I go to bed.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And that's what I do.
That's what I do.
If I fall asleep, I'll just finish it up the next night.
Yeah, I wait until Jennifer goes to bed, and then I'll watch a movie.
Yeah. I've been watching some movies that we're going to do for the Kickstarter. And dread.
Did you watch it again recently?
I've started to, but I haven't finished it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I plan on doing that maybe this weekend.
That's cool.
I watched it I think about a month ago, and I need to revisit it again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then we'll be watching Candyman 3 as well. So
I'll be kind of happy when we're done torturing ourselves. I didn't realize the toll it would take having to watch so many bad movies. And actually, the worst thing has been playing this Nightbreed, the interactive movie game.
That's what
okay.
That's total masochism.
Yeah,
because you're doing the review for that, the video review.
Yeah, and I can't get past the same part that I couldn't get past, 20 years ago. Yeah. And I think I'm going to try like 10 times, and because you have to play through the entire game to get to that point. You can't just save your game.
How far from the end is that part?
It's about maybe a quarter of the way into the game. I mean,
okay.
The whole game is probably 2 hours. So, I mean, and that's probably like 20 minutes,
Okay.
But then you die and you have to start all over again.
What do you have to do to escape Pelican? Do you have to click side to side on the keypad?
No, it's you have to. So when he's running, his arms are pumping up in the air. So you have to time either your mouse click or your joystick button push with when his arm is at its highest point. Each arm. So if you get the timing just right, it makes his arms go faster, and then you have to keep pushing faster and make it. But if you screw up the timing, then he slows back down to really slow, and then Pelican catches up to you and you die.
So it seems like this is something that you would eventually train yourself to pass.
If you could save your game right before then, yeah. But you have to you have to go to the hospital and turn yourself in, or you have to go to the police station, turn yourself in, and then they take you to the mental hospital for some reason that doesn't make any sense. And then you drive to Midian and hope you don't run out of gas or
Yeah, because Boone never ended up in the mental hospital in the movie.
I know. Well,
that's weird.
Yeah, because I think because of censorship, they wanted to avoid all the issues with him trying to kill himself, and right. They skip that. Laurie's not in it at all, as far as I've seen, and they skip Narcisse cutting his face off.
Face off. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I've heard. I've never played any of those two games, but I've heard that one of them ends when you reach Midian, and the other one starts when you enter Midian, or something.
That's
like that.
what I thought too, but now I'm finding that actually in this interactive movie game, you go all the way into Midian, and you're supposed to talk to Baphomet and release the Berserkers, and then you have to like climb your way out of Midian and collect all these Nightbreed people that you're rescuing along the way. Cool. And so then their little square portraits appear on the right side as you meet them, and they're following you.
So you have an escort mission in this game.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, and then when you see Decker, you like move the cursor around in a circle so that you're dodging the knives that he's throwing at you.
Uh-huh.
That actually sounds like a really fun game.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not fun.
The way you're talking about it sounds fun. It sounds extremely hard.
Yeah, and I guess you can't save the game because you're actually playing it on an Amiga.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's on floppy disks. There's no reason they couldn't have made it so you could save your game. I mean, I have other Amiga games that you can save.
But you wanted it to be genuine, so you don't want to play like an emulator.
Oh, yeah, right. No, I hate that.
Okay, yeah. Well, the graphics can be just the same. It's just that the emulator would be playing in a laptop or something like that.
Well, the graphics usually, on emulators, sometimes they're screwed up, and usually the sound is off.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Genesis and Sega Master System games on emulator, and it was horrible.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to see your video review.
Yeah,
thanks. Yeah, I may just, if I can't get past this part, I may just stop it there and do my review.
And be honest, like, I just didn't do it.
I just can't get past this part. So Clive Barker gave a list of his favorite LGBT films, which I am ashamed to admit I've never seen any of them.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I've seen Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean, I know all about Bride of Frankenstein, but I've never seen it.
You've never seen Bride of Frankenstein?
No, I've never gotten around to watching any of the old, those old
Universal monster movies.
Yeah, black and white horror movies.
It's really entertaining. It's really awesome. The list that he said, and these are the 10 movies. I'm not sure if he did this in order of preference or just whatever. But number 1 is Sebastian. Number 2 is Love is the Devil, which is a book, a movie about the life of Francis Bacon. Number 3 is Taboo, A Story of the South Seas, which I think it's by Fritz Lang, maybe? I forgot. Number 4 is Bride of Frankenstein. Number 5 is Performance. Number 6 is Orlando, which is it's a great movie. I've seen this one. Number 7, Arabian Nights. Number 8, The Damned. Number 9, Billy Budd. And number 10, Kismet. So, yeah, I think I might have seen like 3 or 4 of these movies. And that's his top 10 favorite LGBT films.
Are a lot of these European movies?
Yeah. For example, Love is the Devil. Mm-hmm. Taboo is American. Bride of Frankenstein is American. Yeah. Orlando, I think, is British. I'm not sure. So, yeah, some of these are definitely not. They're more art house films,
Yeah.
Yeah. So he picked these out for Time Out London.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I would like to see the Arabian Nights. I've always wanted to catch that. Have y'all seen that before?
Nope.
I know I've read The 1001 Nights, but I'm not sure if I've seen this. The Arabian Nights. What year is this from? I'm trying to figure it out.
No, it's just on the list of his movies here. It says it's just. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know the year.
There's a few. Yeah, there's a few movies. I think he may be talking about the Pasolini, Pier Paolo Pasolini movie.
Oh, okay.
I've seen a couple of those. I've seen like the I've seen the what's it called? I forgot that. But there's an Arabian Nights movie from Pasolini. I think it's from the 70s. So that's probably the one he's talking about.
Well, there's a new limited Lament configuration that the Clive Barker, real Clive Barker crew has made. It's a resin, like a poured resin model that they've made, and they're painting it to resemble a model that or a prop that Clive Barker has of a puzzle box.
I want to get my own box someday. I really do. And this is, it looks pretty cool, but I just, I don't know. I just don't have the money to.
Yeah, it's super limited. I think they said
only 87
of them. Yeah, that they're making, and or
just
by
like
January
when the movie came
1st.
out in 1987.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
true.
a good catch. Yeah.
So either they either want to sell all 87 of them, or they'll quit selling them by January 1st. Whichever comes first.
Yeah, that's what they said. So if they don't, make sure I understand that if they don't sell all 87, they're still going to stop selling them.
That's what it sounded like. I don't know why it's one or the other. I wonder if there's why they put that cutoff date on there. But for me, I like the Pyramid Gallery ones. But just because
everybody says to go or something when you get a box, get it personally made.
Yeah, and I got to meet Max at the Monster Mania convention where they had the Hellraiser reunion, and that's where I got mine.
Oh, cool.
Wow! I bet that was really a fun event.
It was, yeah.
Well, I got a few boxes. I mean, I got one.
I saw a picture of.
Yeah, I got one that's like a star box. I think that was made by a guy called Kevin. It's made out of wood. It's got brass panels. And then I have 3 from Pyramid Gallery. One of them is like the Hellraiser box. Mm. The other 2 are those, other boxes that he also carries in his website.
Yeah.
I think one of them was designed by Steel Ghost. And,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are those all in Portugal or any of them in America?
Yeah, they're still back there. I mean, when I flew over here, I just left them in my bedroom in my old apartment, so they're still there. And I also have another one that's like a Cthulhu Hellraiser box that was made by a guy called Morpheus69. He used to be one of the toy makers that sold his products online back in the early 2000s, especially on the Hellbound web. There used to be another guy also called Zane. But, I have one from Morpheus. It's pretty cool. It looks like a Hellraiser box from afar, but then when you get close to it, you see that the design is a little different, and some of the black parts of the panels are actually drawn in the shape of tentacles and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think I may have some pictures of that. If I do, I'll add them to the show notes.
Yeah.
But so it's great. I mean, how many gateways to hell does a guy have? Or does a guy need?
Yeah,
really?
need.
Yeah. There's also another guy called Darkman. He's selling some boxes. I think his boxes are pretty cool too. At least they look really nice.
Well, and also Derek Neal makes
configuration boxes.
Yeah. And I think Simon Sace also makes puzzle boxes.
He's working in the new box. Yeah, he's working in a new version of his box. And he also had some pretty cool, creepy products that he was selling. One of them is like he has some, I think, reproductions of the panels, but they're signed in the artist's blood, which is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember when Kiss had like a comic book that they said that was printed with Kiss blood?
No, never heard of that. No.
Never heard of that. It was a Marvel comic, and they even had a picture of Kiss like having blood drawn, so they would just add that to the vat of ink, and it was like Kiss comic printed with the artist's blood, but it was probably just like a quart of blood in there, maybe. But I think it's funny when people do that kind of stunts. It's interesting.
That's I've never heard that before. So
Yeah.
The Skull T-shirt. So I think in our story it says that it's new, but something that we were talking about a little earlier. They also say that they're going to start going on sale in October of 2015. So I'm thinking that this is an older product that they probably just put a Facebook post about.
Yeah, I might have reported on it before.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I looked at it and they didn't have my size, so it's kind of like, well, that's
I didn't
cool.
either. It's just, it goes up to I think the
XL.
Double XL. It goes up to XXL.
I just saw XL.
Oh, I think I
one
saw
of them. One of them goes up to the white shirt. I think it goes to XL. Then the black shirt goes up to 2X.
Sure. Yeah, they may have run out of the other size. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just looking at the black one. Okay. Yeah, but it's a cool shirt. It totally looks like something I would wear. I'm going to look at it again here. Choose an option. Yeah, the black one just goes up to XL.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the one I would have wanted.
Yeah, me too. I'm the white guy.
Yeah.
The white shirts, you get stains on them and they don't go away.
They don't come out, yeah.
By the way, Ryan, did we, in our Kickstarter, I think there was one person who was thinking about getting a white T-shirt. Did they get the white T-shirt?
I sort of nixed that.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize when we offered that the price per shirt goes down the more orders we do. Mm-hmm. So if we give people two options, then that doubles the cost of the shirts.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we only had one person that wanted the white one, so I asked them if it was okay if we just sent the black one instead, and they're like, yeah, okay.
Oh, that's wonderful then. Speaking of Kickstarter and T-shirts, there's also a Kickstarter for the new issue of Zymbol magazine. So it's spelled like symbol, but it starts with a Z. And they have a Kickstarter to help finance their latest issue, and it will feature artwork by Clive Barker. So the title of this year's magazine is New Surreal Art and Literature. And we posted that back in 30th of November, so if you guys want to go back there and check out the post, there's a link to the Kickstarter if you want to contribute.
Also, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but when I open that up, the Kickstarter video takes up the whole screen and sort of...
It's doing that for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does it do that?
Kickstarter links are weird. They force you to have the video in
I know. If the K up there, if you click on the K, it takes you to the page.
The site, yeah. So, and as we're recording this right now, they've got 26 backers. They're at $552 out of 4,000, and they have 28 days to go. So it's only been a couple of days since they started.
Speaking of Kickstarter, and I know I'm doing a segue about another segue, but did you guys know that MST3K is coming back? They made like a Kickstarter for that?
Yeah, I saw that, but it's not the original hosts. They're getting like celebrity guest hosts or something.
That's right. Yeah, but they're already like over $3 million on that.
I know, they got a bunch.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. Bring back MST3K.
It's like Felicia Day and Jonah Ray and is Patton Oswalt?
I think our friend Andrew Furtado is friends with Jonah Ray. I remember him saying something on his wall, like, "Hey, congratulations to my friend for getting."
He's part of the Nerdist podcast, also. Jonah Ray is.
He was. Yeah. So cool.
Well, I hope they're how many episodes they're going to do? Like, try to do 12 or something. But
it depends on how much money they get. If they get it up to $5.5 million, they'll do a whole season of 12 episodes.
So the one thing that always bugged me about Mystery Science Theater is that they cut the movies way down to make them fit into, is it like an hour?
Yeah, I think so, especially when they were on cable.
Yeah,
they did. They would actually cut stuff out so they could work jokes around.
I wish we could edit Dread before we did the commentary for it. I was just joking.
Yeah, we'll cut it down to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, I once cut down Hellraiser Deader to 1 hour to make it bearable.
Did you really?
I did. I cut it like a bunch of like those weird flashbacks in the middle where like the main character, I forgot her name.
Carrie Werrer.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the character. That's the actress. I can't remember the character.
Yeah, Amy or something. I don't know. But I cut the part from when she got to the Deader lair. The car drops her off. There was a little dog walking around, and she goes into the Deader den. And then she starts going through these walls, and then she gets stuck because the walls are getting smaller and smaller, narrower and narrower. And then all of a sudden she tries to turn around and, lights her lighter, and there's a bunch of bugs just running away from the walls. And there's someone there with a knife, and they stab her. And then there's a whole bunch of, weird flashbacks that fill that in. And then there's another flashback, and she's back in, the same hallway, and there's some guy who's putting his finger to his lips and going, shh. And I cut all that stuff up. So it's okay, she's going in through this wall, and then I cut all that stuff, and then she's just coming out of the wall. And then she meets the Deaders, and, she gets put in the bed, and they're going to sacrifice her, and Pinhead appears, and blah, blah, blah. But it went down from whatever running time it was to 60 minutes. And I was like, I'm okay with this version.
Yeah.
But that was just something.
It was another one of those Hellraiser sequels that was like a Jacob's Ladder thing where nobody knows if they're asleep or they're awake. And I imagine you could probably. I wonder if you did that to Hellseeker, how big the movie would be.
I know. Yeah.
Sure.
There's a ton of that in there too.
Yeah.
The only thing about Hellseeker is that a lot of those weird flashback scenes, they come full circle at the end. Like why is Dean Winters, why is he pulling out an eel out of his throat in a section of the movie? Right, and then we discover, of course, spoilers, but we discover why that heel was inside his throat because blah blah blah. His car fell in the river. Yeah. But so I don't know. But it did work well for Deader. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Extra fluff that didn't need to be in the movie.
Or take out all the preaching in Hellraiser 5.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Nathan, actually had an idea that I think was brilliant. Is someone with talent to edit this should probably get the scene where Detective Thorne opens the door to his old bedroom at the end, when he's like, well, this is my hell and this is my private hell and now this is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And he opens this door and it's his old bedroom, like his kid bedroom. Someone should edit that to him opening the door and seeing the labyrinth from Hellraiser 2. I think that would be really cool.
Isn't that kind of polishing a turd?
Yes, it is, I guess.
We're going to get to talk about all these movies, too.
That's right. Yeah. So, something that's definitely not a turd, it's one of Clive Barker's best books, is The Great and Secret Show.
Yeah.
And there's a new edition of The Great and Secret Show that's coming. And it was just announced, I think, maybe yesterday on the Revelations site. And I can't even find anything from Gauntlet Press announcing it. So I think this might have started out as kind of an inside communication.
Yeah, and they say that the front cover and will be a Clive Barker illustration, and the inside there will be some Clive Barker additional material, like illustrations and stuff.
Interesting.
And on the front cover, they'll put a quote from Jose Leitao that says, "Definitely not a turd."
Oh my God! Yeah,
I'd buy that. Said that.
I'd buy that for $1. No, seriously, it's probably going to cost like $100 or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know how they're going to break it up and which versions you can buy and all that. But
yeah, so
hopefully it's not like only tray cased lettered. 250.
Yeah.
I hope. This is made available and at a reasonable price because this is one of my favorite. This book is probably my top 5. I'd probably place it maybe around 2 or 3 in my list of his favorite books, and because I really like this book. And then if that I like to see the illustrations by what he's done because I love those characters, that story.
Yeah. This was one of the first big novels that I read from Clive Barker. I think.
Me too.
I'm not sure if I read the game before I read this, but this was like a 700-page paperback that I brought, and as soon as I got it from the store, It was the Britannica bookstore in Porto, Portugal, and I bought it. It was an import. It was expensive, and I came out of the store with the book, and I was like, awesome! I got another Clive Barker book, and I made my way to the train because I had to take an hour train to get back home, and I started reading it in the train, and I was like, oh my god, the whole thing about Palomo Grove and Fletcher and Jaffe and stuff, and I was like, oh my god! I got home. I barely did anything. I just it was like the weekend. I sat down on my bedroom. I read the whole book. It's like, oh, it's time for dinner. Okay, I'm going to go. And I just got back to it, and I could not put the book down until I finished it. So I finished this book in less than a week, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, it was 5-6 days. I read the whole book.
The first book I read was Cabal, because I had just seen Nightbreed, and I was totally blown away by that. And so I went and got Cabal, and I read Cabal. So then I did a little bit of research, and I went back and bought paperbacks of the Books of Blood, and then I started reading everything in chronological order from then, from the Books of Blood through Imagica, because that was the latest one at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I went to an Imagica book signing, and that was kind of my first. That was my beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your gateway drug into the Barker-verse.
I was really embarrassed, actually, at that book signing because everybody else seemed to have all this cool collectible stuff, and I had a couple. I grabbed a couple of paperbacks at the store to sign. I bought just to get them signed, and I had and of course Imagica, which I hadn't read yet because it was brand new.
Yeah.
I remember also racing to read The Forbidden before the Candyman movie came out in theaters.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that I think I read the first chapter of Imagica at the end of Weave World. I think it was there, like a preview in my copy.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they did that in the U.S. version, too.
Mm-hmm. And I would just like to, now that we're talking about reading good books, I would just like to remind everyone that episode 108 we had Paul Kane, and his book Blood Red has just come out on December 1st. So go buy it, go read it, and then listen to our podcast.
And we all reviewed it too, so you can go on our site and look at all of our different reviews. We didn't all have to review it, but we kind of wanted to. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah, sure.
I enjoyed reading those books.
Yeah.
I highly recommend Blood Red, and especially just kind of another book he's written is called Monsters. So read that too.
Yeah, I meant to. I want to get to that one too. I didn't read that one.
Yeah, I finished that one recently, and I want to do a review. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working on. Rob, you've done a review of Volume 3 of Next Testament, right?
Yes, I did.
That's the final one, isn't it?
That's the final one.
Okay. So they put 4 comics in each volume, I guess. Yeah.
It's most of this one was what I enjoyed about it was great visual storytelling. It was just the art, very little dialogue, and the artwork, and was who's the woman who did
Jamie Yang?
Yeah, or Jaime.
It was
Yang. They did a very good job of just visually telling the story in these last 4 issues.
What I was really impressed with in Next Testament is the ending, because I was reading this story, I was terrified that these gods would come back and turn back the clock and make everything okay. Like Superman going around the world backwards.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
Totally different. Yeah, because it just felt like they're gonna feel the urge to fix this somehow.
Yeah, I like one of the stylistic choices was right before the gods come back, Satan and the Holy Ghost, the Stopwick. Mm-hmm. There's the world's going to end, and look at the panels. It's like everything's starting to fade away.
Yeah,
and I thought that was cool, a good way of showing. I've never seen that before. But that's a great, anybody wants to read the Next Testament, I highly recommend that. Picking up all 3 volumes. There's really cool opening forwards by people that love Clive Barker's work. And
okay. So right. So those volumes have that extra material.
Yeah, they show alternate covers.
Great
things.
Right, because I think some of the issues had, or all of them had like alternative covers, right? So
I think some of them even had covers by Clive Barker, if I remember right.
Yeah, black and white sketches or something.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I was kind of limited to what my comic book store was carrying at the time.
Me too. Yeah, I just have the one, whatever was available at the end.
Also, I never really went for the whole, I got to collect cover A, B, and C. It's like it's the same comic book inside.
That'll make you crazy if you try to do that.
Yeah, I'll just pick the one that I like the best and, roll with that.
Yeah.
Nobody around here, I would try to get the single issues, but nobody would have them all. They'd have like 1, 2, 3, then issue 6.
I had a couple of times where they didn't have it, and I'd have to order it from Boom.
Yeah. So I just decided, I'll just get the trade paperback, even though, when I first started reading the story was last year. Got the first one for my birthday in October. Then I got the second volume, came out in February of this year. Then you had to wait another 8 months for the, that's when it came out. There's a long gap between. I've noticed how Boom does that because they're doing it with the Nightbreed too.
Are they making a trade?
For that new comic book, the new one,
interesting.
I didn't know that. It seemed like that ended so abruptly. I thought they might be done with it.
No, they're going to do. They've already have the first one out, and I'm not sure when the second one's coming out, but I know it's a long stretch.
It seems to me, that they should just make it one book, but.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's just a way to try to obviously get some more.
I do miss. I miss the old trade paperbacks that were like really thick.
Yeah.
Like I have the Death of Superman, and it's like
Welcome Back Frank with the Punisher. That was they put that all in one big thing.
That's cool. I like that or like the Watchmen, like the paperback edition. It makes you feel like, all right, I got the whole story here. It's one book. Instead of dividing it there are 12 comic books, or there are going to be 4 volumes. So you're still reading parts of it. I don't know. It's just I just miss the old
and those comic books took 10 minutes to read, so it's like a half an hour read for one volume of something that's 3 issues.
That's right. Especially in the later issues when the Wick was causing all this destruction and something. They really went all out in the splash pages, that was pretty impressive in terms of.
The art was really good, but there wasn't a lot of reading, so you'd go through it really quickly.
Yeah, that's right.
I really studied the images a lot and the detail in it. The artwork was just, I thought, again, kudos to
the
artists. The colors. And really.
So the next thing we've done our second audio commentary. The first one was Transmutations or Underworld, and then the second one we just finished was Rawhead Rex. So we'd like to get some feedback on those if you could. We haven't heard anything from anybody about them yet, so I'm just kind of curious to see what people think, if people are actually doing these. I know Transmutations is a pretty obscure movie, so probably not a lot of people were even had it available to
watch.
Yeah,
I was going to say
Rex,
YouTube has that. If anybody doesn't have a copy of it,
sure. Rawhead Rex is on YouTube, and we just didn't put it in the post because it was like, it's kind of shady to do that because it's not really a legal copy to do, but. If you need to find it, just look for Rawhead Rex on YouTube. I'm sure you'll find a copy or two.
It'll say full movie in the.
Trust me, we're saving you $15.
Yeah. So and our next one we're gonna do here probably next week is Dread.
Yeah. Jose's really looking forward to that one. So.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Touching the Beast.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? They say that 20 times in the movie.
Yeah, I know you did a supercut back when we discussed it in an episode
that was 3 years ago, though, or 4 years ago. So I might stick that at the end of our audio commentary too.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And what's really awesome is just reminding people that Peter Atkins was talking on the commentary track for Hellraiser 3 in the Scarlet Box, and he mentions the Clive Barker podcast, which is great because, Rob, you've been talking to Pete Atkins.
Yeah, and he names Rob specifically.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I was just joking around. I didn't expect him to really say that. But
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So if you have the Scarlet Box and you're watching the movies, you might find that little shout out to us, which is really gracious and awesome of Peter Atkins to do.
And he actually brought up in that little bit of audio commentary, he brought up something that I hadn't really thought of before, that as a Hellraiser movie, maybe it's not that great, but as a horror movie, it's good. And I never even tried to look at it in that light before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that the special effects in Hellraiser 3, and they're pretty good. I mean, the whole Boiler Room Massacre and stuff, it's really, I think it's well filmed. I think it's a very enjoyable movie. It definitely brought Hellraiser into the forefront. You know, it was like, you know, Cricklewood, Pinewood, Hollywood. So
Yeah, and I always just would get hung up on, you know, Pinhead being so over the top, and this isn't the character that I know, and then I hated the new Cenobites, and
oh really? Yeah, well, you know, I thought Pinhead look was cool, but the Cenobites were a little like, you know, more like Borg or something.
Yeah.
To me, I always looked at those Cenobites as much as not a big fan of them either, but it's like the Pinhead in that movie is like separated from the actual Pinhead from Leviathan. Yeah. Right? Sure. How they say it's like this Loki version.
Yeah, right. But then my thinking on that was like, well, why does he still have his power then? Where is it coming from?
True.
I guess the thing was he didn't have any sort of like, not that it was implied that he had in Hellraiser 1 or 2, but it's like he doesn't have this good part, like the Elliot part, the human part. Like this was just pure demonic Pinhead, I guess.
Yeah. Because the reason that happened was because the producers wanted their version of Freddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he tried to best accommodate him in a way that made sense to him as a writer.
Yeah, and if Hellraiser 3 had been a different thing, and it didn't focus on Pinhead and just focused on the world instead, it would have been more memorable, or maybe more I don't know.
I would have liked to have seen some of those other stories to be told, but it just it wasn't meant to be. Like the one where they actually went into, was it the Ronson story where they went into pre-production on? Before they had to shut it down when New World went out of business.
Was that going to be the one where there was a woman stealing faces? Okay,
I think so. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I would like to have seen that one.
Me too,
but never worked out. So I still enjoy Hellraiser 3. I like it. I consider it part of the Hellraiser universe.
Well,
after Bloodline, I pretty much
you can say it's a bad movie if you compare it to Hellraiser 1 and 2. You can say it's an awesome movie if you compare it to Hellraiser 5+. And as a horror movie, like Pete Atkins said, it stands up just fine.
I liked the version of Pinhead in Hellraiser 3. I mean, I think it cut a good balance between making Pinhead talk a little more and be more expressive, and the Pinhead from the first movie. Because one of the things that I don't like about Pinhead from the first movie is how static he is. He's like Kirsty is solving the box, and he's like, no, don't do that. And it's like, why can't you just like go over there and yoink, take the box out of her hands? I guess, well, you couldn't because he can't touch her or whatever, but they never really explained why.
Yeah. Yeah, some of that mystery is why kind of what's interesting about Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when you go
does he have to be given the box or something? Because in the third one, he goes to reach out for one from the Joey character, and it shocks him.
Yeah, they do say that. I think they imply that the box has to be given to him, like he can't take it.
Yeah,
but they never
of course he picks
why.
it up from Frank after Frank gets torn to pieces.
Sure, yeah. So anyway, I just thought it was cool that they gave Pinhead a little more room to cut loose in some lines and stuff, to be a little more verbose than the first one. The first one is like, he has some really impressive lines, but he's not as emotional or expressive as in the third one. I think that the third one had a good balance when it came to, But what I was going to say is that when you go back to, for example, The Hellbound Heart, read by Clive Barker, and other interviews that Clive Barker has done about the Cenobites, he kind of paints them in this light of them being like almost these hollow creatures that, when they talk, Clive Barker in the Hellbound Heart audiobook, he just makes their voices be completely flat, like with no tone, like, yes, what city is this? And it's like, they sound like automatons in a way, almost. And then he told Doug to say this line in Pinhead makeup. He said, Doug, I want you to say this line as if the north wind was blowing through your eye sockets or something. And like he kept telling him to do less, bring it down, bring your performance down to the point where you're just like, you're not emoting too much. I think it wasn't just because of the makeup, because the makeup enhances every expression. But I think he was telling him to tone it down because he wanted Pinhead to be very cool and almost neutral in a way.
Well, and also Simon and Nicholas couldn't do anything.
True.
So it's like you can't have Pinhead doing too much because then all they can do is stand there pretty much.
Yeah, it would just upstage the other Cenobites.
Yeah. Well, and Grace Kirby was apparently just there reluctantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've done the review of the Scarlet Box, and it's on our website. So I urge people to go read it. And
I wish that I have not reviewed the book, the Damnation Games book by Phil and Sarah Stokes, but that's coming soon, so expect that.
Cool.
Probably next month
jealous.
or so.
Yeah.
This book is apparently they're releasing something better, so this isn't the end for as far as this Hellraiser book by Phil and Sarah. I think this was just kind of a tease.
Oh, really? So you think they're going to do a more complete thing? Okay.
I think so, yeah. They have something more.
I like that the cover of that book is Frank's face put together.
Yeah. It's a great package. It's out of print now, but I don't know how much it's going for on eBay or anything like that. People are probably jacking up the price.
Yeah, I still don't have a machine that can play those.
I actually bought a machine just specifically to buy, so to be able to watch this. Now I've got like 3 Blu-ray players, and it's kind of but now it's cool. I can buy region B and C movies that haven't been released over here in this country. So
Region C, what is that? Australia?
I think so. Yeah, that is Australia.
I think Region B is Europe and a few other countries. Region A is America.
Yeah.
I'm looking at eBay and I'm finding Hellraiser the Scarlet Box versions. Some of them are buy it now, some of them are auctions. The auctions I'm looking at start at like 129. And then there's buy it now for 165, 199, 129. So I think
they're releasing that. They have another box coming out. It just doesn't have all the extra disc and the book. And the other box set is, to me, it's good. I mean, it's just as good because it has all the special features that are,
But it doesn't have the book, right?
It just doesn't have the book.
Yeah. I think at one point they might be able to even release the movie separately, like in their own Blu-rays. Who knows?
Yeah, like the Alien quadrilogy, they started releasing those separately after a while.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I think, like I said in my review, I don't think we've seen the last of Hellraiser releases. I think we'll probably get something here in the U.S. somehow. Yeah,
that would be nice. It would be really good to see a Shout Factory version of that.
I think they might. Personally, I think they might do like a big box set of the movies. All of them.
Well, and now they've done Nightbreed and Lord of Illusions. I mean, there's only one left.
Yeah.
Damn. It's like
man, what if they get the? I was just like, there's still like over half an hour footage we haven't seen from Bloodline. And if they found the footage from the surgeon scene that's been, 30 years old, now that footage exists somewhere.
Yeah.
The original 18th century material that was completely scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
But that somebody has that, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably if that was to show up, I'd probably buy the whole box set again because I'd want to see that.
I see what you mean. I'm thinking in 2050 we're going to be having, good news for Hellraiser fans. We're going to get the holographic version of Hellraiser coming to your house now.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be like, your room is going to turn into the damp room.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
or you just plug it into your brain.
Plug it into your brain, and you can play as any of the characters. Hopefully not Frank.
Don't be Frank.
Yeah,
they'd find you dead on your couch the next day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you get to, if you're Frank, you can get killed twice.
Yeah.
And then again, get your heart ripped out in Hellraiser 2.
Speaking of Frank, Sean Chapman was really cool. Those documentaries I put in my review were really cool to see him talk about the films.
Oh, really?
So I was, I was curious. They didn't interview him for the Leviathan documentary, and I felt that was missing. And he was talking about how the dub voice, he was displeased with how they dubbed his voiceover because, which I agree with, and it's something he said which was interesting. He said they lost some tenderness from the character.
Huh.
And I'd actually like to hear his voice. Maybe the performance comes off differently because in the movie the voice comes off like this asshole guy.
Yeah. It's just it was a weird casting decision to have a British guy and an American guy be brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I understand the decision behind, but I just think it'd be cool to hear his voice. Maybe actually have a different, kind of like with Doug Bradley in Nightbreed with Losberg here.
Oh yeah, I think that was a terrible decision to do that Doug.
Because I made that character so much more powerful in the director's cut, hearing his voice.
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw a Nightbreed, I didn't even know that was Doug Bradley.
Oh, I didn't know that until Occupy Midian.
Sure.
Honestly, when I first saw him,
Wow.
I thought he was
I mean, I didn't know that they dubbed his voice until Occupy Midian. That's what I mean. Right. I knew that was Doug Bradley before then, but not right away. But along the way, I learned it. But yeah, he looks so different, and his voice is not Doug Bradley's voice. So you don't know until you look studying the credits.
He said he had a hard time getting. I know y'all watch Leviathan, so y'all remember this part. He talked about how when he went to shoot Nightbreed, he just got off shooting Hellraiser 2, and he was having a hard time going between the Losberg and Pinhead characters.
Oh yeah,
that was difficult because he was they shot at Pinewood with Hellraiser 2, and
him and Catherine Chevalier was in both.
Yeah.
And so, Ryan, you're one step closer to becoming the proud owner of a complete set of the Magica card game.
Yeah, I had one more trade that just recently happened, and I got 2 more cards, and now there's only one card left that I need, and that's it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So, is it like a really special card? Like, do they have like a holographic foil or something? I don't know because I never collected the.
No, it's just a regular rare card. So there's uncommon, or there's common, and then there's uncommon, and there's rare, and there's promo cards.
Okay.
And the promo cards, some of them are super common, like the Clive Barker one.
Yeah, I got that one from Lost Souls fan club.
Yeah, that one is you can get for like really cheap, but no, this is just one that some of the packages were more in Europe and the UK, and some of them were more in the United States. So the ones that I was missing towards the end are more the ones that were in England.
I think the company was called Zeherapushu.
Yeah,
something like that, which is a little squid from Quiddity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And City of the Unbeheld is the last card that I need.
Oh, awesome!
I'll keep an eye out for it on I'll look up on eBay and stuff and see if they have.
Oh, I've got 2 saved searches on eBay that alert me every time there's any cards.
Because I know I don't know where. I mean, toy shows. I mean, sometimes you can just, because I do go to toy shows around here in Nashville, and sometimes you can just find the most weird stuff randomly. I'll keep an eye out.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like that.
Yeah, thank you.
I remember seeing some of the paintings that they did for this game appear on eBay over the years.
They still do. I still see them once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? How do you collect them? Are they like the card, those sheets, or do you have them displayed in a kind of?
I actually bought the baseball card sheets and put them in a 3-ring binder.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, they come in. There's double starter decks, which are two decks in a box, and each deck has 1 rare card and a bunch of uncommons and stuff. You can also get booster packs, and the booster packs only have 15 cards in them, but they have 1 rare card in each one of those. So the booster packs are a better deal when you're collecting.
Yes.
But when you're first starting out, you get the double starter decks. But they cost a lot more on eBay now because there used to be lots of them, and now there's not so many.
That was so nerdy. That was just so nerdy what you just said. That was amazing. But you know what? I do have a binder of cards. It's true. I did collect some cards, trading cards and stuff. But they were more like Marvel Masterpieces cards and stuff like that. Yeah. So I do have a little...
Books of Blood cards and the Clive Barker cards.
And a Frank Frazetta collection that I have the whole thing.
I used to collect movie cards where they take stills from the movie.
Oh, yeah.
They've got one of Hellraiser. I've got one for The Crow and The Crow City of Angels and Jason Goes to Hell. And
cool.
They did one for Hellraiser 3, but I never got that. But I don't know if they do that kind of stuff anymore or not. I like that. Usually in some of those you would see deleted scenes.
Yeah.
That never made it to the movie.
Yeah, I think
because they're production stills and stuff.
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing like something about a trading card thing or a trading card collection about Friday the 13th that had like alternate makeup designs in one of those photos or something. I forgot which one it is right now, but I know that they tried a few makeups for Jason, and they did some camera tests, and I think one of the pictures in one of those cards was like an alternate makeup of Jason. So I don't know how true that is, but
I know the Jason Goes to Hell one. There's all kinds of different stuff in it. I mean, there's tons of different like scenes that didn't make it into the final release version. So,
they should have given Cronenberg like a big knife and a mask in that movie, and he could Jason fight X. Jason. Yeah,
yeah, he gets killed pretty quick.
Yeah. So yeah, apart from that, we got some more Kickstarter things on the sleeve. So yeah, and I'm going to put up that video of the unboxing of the T-shirt on the YouTube channel because we haven't been getting a lot of content, and I got to put some more of the classic episodes there.
Yeah, so we're up to 20 on the downloadable versions.
Right. So keep an eye out for the YouTube channel. It's BarkerCast on YouTube. And yeah, we'll be sure to keep posting more news. And thanks again for supporting us on our podcast.
Yeah, definitely. We do this for y'all.
Yeah.
Including the torture.
The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial fan site and podcast that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Films. This podcast and site are a labor of love by the fans for the fans. News, features, and show notes for this episode can be found at www.clivebarkercast.com. Go to iTunes and please leave us a review. Reviews really help us get the word out about Clive Barker. You can also find us on Podomatic, Xbox Music Store, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Doubletwist, Blackberry, and Pocketcast. We have a Facebook page, so come on and like our Facebook page and join the Occupy Midian group for lots of discussion about Nightbreed and other Clive Barker stuff. On Twitter, we're at BarkerCast and at Occupy Midian. Opening theme by Mark Buckle.